Only thing Charleston White did was basically put himself on the radar for everybody from Chicago to come to Houston and real live, like, get down on him. That's all he did. Because at the end of the day, we know for a fact that they said that he was an unk. And anybody from the streets, they know what an unk is. They know that they rehabilitated. So if you catch my drift, man, I want y'all to really look at what's going on. Mama Duck already sent them boys out there, boy. Mama Duck, by him disrespecting her, he opened up a can of worms. Now Charleston White ain't gonna know what to do because he done got so deep into telling everybody not to diss people, but then he end up dissing everybody. He went harder than the rappers, dissing the dead rappers. He went dissing they mamas.
I mean, he can't be disrespecting her like that, especially her, of all people.
Yeah, at the end of the day, because one thing we all know for a fact, everybody who behind Mama Duck, they sit back looking at it like, is she gonna send the folks out there? Because they already want Jay Prince for what happened to Duke 093. You gotta really look at this because it's too many people who sit back and not really take heed to what's going on. You have to be mindful of the things you do. If you go to another city, it's your choice. If you check in, that just may be your luck. You get sent up because you put yourself on the radar because they would never knew you was out there until you opened your mouth.
I mean, and that's the thing. Sometimes it's something where you want to share where you're at, you're having a good time, but really, like, maybe share after. Like, oh, I was here today, or I was here last week. But, like, to be showing exactly where you are when you're in a status like that is just probably not a good idea. I mean, everybody knows that people be following each other, and you clearly see, like, it's the envy and the greed that ends up running, you know, causing issues.
Yeah, and you have to understand one thing. It's no way that Charleston White became a rapper all of a sudden. Was that the plan from the beginning, to get in so you can become a rapper? Like, at the end of the day, we know for a fact that he only repeating the same stuff he been saying for a couple years now. And now, since he dissed all the people who he so-called helped, it goes to show, like, it was a strategic move done. And it really goes in line with Charleston White. Basically, they said he clout chasing, man.
I mean, he knows what he's doing. He knows, like, he turned his whole life around from everything that's happened from when he was younger. So he definitely is probably making some strategic moves, you know, and planning ahead, 2 steps ahead of the game.
Yeah, this goes to show, like, you gotta watch those type of people like that, because he sat there and said what he said and then flipped it on Mama Duck and them. He instantly put them in the game and flipped it. Like, you really gotta understand. They said that man, he was in a messed up situation when he said that about anybody OG while he was on that interview. He said them boys real live, them boys got the addy, man.
At the end of the day, like, people get out of hand and people get too comfortable with people who they think they friends. You see what I'm saying? Then a person take advantage. Yeah, in these streets, it definitely even crazier because I can't wrap my finger around the fact that everybody trying to look at somebody and get into it with them. Like, I'm still not understanding that. Like, that can't register with me. Like, for one thing, one reason, we all man out here. At the end of the day, we know for a fact that we understand what's going on in the streets. It's our choice to avoid it or allow it. And in most cases, our pride get in the way. So we gonna allow it and try to solve it. People don't know, man. I appreciate you, man. Reach out, man, whenever you feel like it, man. Hey, I appreciate you, man. And you notice I don't even talk like this on YouTube. I talk in a certain manner. You see what I'm saying? What I'm telling you is the stuff that ain't nobody gonna hear. Like real talk, like I'm tired of this shit happening, man. Right, I kept trying to figure out like why did he leave the group, and then Quavo want to try to cuddle up with Shorty and left Takeoff all alone. Takeoff knew they wasn't for him, man. And then all these crocodile tears, man, they could save it, man, because if they would have saved Takeoff, they wouldn't have no tears. Pay more attention to what's around you, even if it's you don't even want to pay attention to them. Like they left Takeoff, the same reason they ain't want to pay attention to Takeoff. It's the same reason why they sitting there acting like they crying for a reason when really y'all could have avoided this at the end of the day. Exactly. But why would you argue with somebody who got a blicky on the seat while y'all on y'all way to a bowling alley that they own? Yeah, you ain't hear about it? Hey, dude, in the morning, look up the bowling alley and look up Jay Prince now, man. You will see. You know how much digging I had to do to find that?
Really?
Yes, man. And people exposing them, man, for what happened and what went on because that was a foul play on the ball. Like, at the end of the day, we know that was foul, man, because, boy, if you sit back and you look at it, they getting all the clout, man. They say all them people who was sitting up in there, they say they know what went on and still don't want to step out there and just open their mouth and just at least get. They said more than one person was recording, so what the other footage?
I'm sure they got more footage. That's another thing too.
Right. It was too many people there who be thirsty to get on their phone.
Right, and then in Houston police, they coming out like they put up this big scene like they, that was just a front, man. I had nothing else on them since.
Right. They ain't nothing else happened. It's been almost 30 days.
Yeah.
You see how they just instantly sending them up. But you know though, you know for a fact that if Offset was there, they wouldn't have pulled it. If they group was tight, they wouldn't have pulled it. Only reason they pulled that is because they wasn't organized. You feel me?
Right. You're right. I do believe it's Offset. Yeah, I don't think that would have capped off.
You don't remember Offset jumping in the crowds every time they go anywhere or do any show or anything? Offset, this is what I remember Offset as. Soon as he got out of jail, he instantly, they doing their first shows. And what he doing? Jumping off the stage, going in on the people, and the people, like, they not even doing nothing that bad, and he's still going in on them. That's how I know all this was senseless because they clicked one tight.
Yeah, you're right. They was definitely loose that night.
Ain't no way y'all strapped up, but everybody spaced out. What? a lot of people don't know that Cardi B, these people got tabs on y'all, man.
Right, yeah.
So if anything happened, they can't nobody say that they did it because they wasn't around.
That's right. But they know.
They know in this situation. In this situation, Jay Prince Jr. was there. Who's to say Jazz Prince left early? Why would he leave early when he came with Quavo?
Right. That's why I don't understand that part either.
Like, if this was Jay Prince's birthday and then his son's birthday was the day before, like, why y'all ain't had this in order? It's like a lot of people got their own, like, some people don't know, but then as I've been running the footage back, I've been seeing one thing. I've been seeing Lil Cam snatching Takeoff chain. And this where it get disturbing at. And I really want people to know, like, Takeoff, he didn't know what was going on. And Lil Cam was staring at him the whole time. Right when Bushwick Bill, his son, he instantly bent down to get him the signal. Instantly. Cause they thought they started blowing from like in back of the crowd where dude in the blue was with the, with the baseball jacket on, who was standing on the side with the dreads. To be honest with you, that was somebody at Jay Prince Jr. and them set. A lot of people not talking about that because I don't feel that that's vital to them, but in all actual reality, we sit back and we looking at one thing. We're looking at all the bystanders around, and then we looking at Cam Cam had the bag, the same one strap Goyard bag on that Migo bands had, and a lot of people can vouch for this. They had on the same bag. Them the only ones that had blickies in the party.
Okay, now let me ask, is it true that Lil Cam is supposed to be in critical condition?
Yeah, and this information is coming straight from Atlanta, and then it's coming straight from Dallas. And it's crazy that people gotta reach out from their same state, man. In real life, let people know that they not letting up on these people, man. At the end of the day, I know for a fact that people don't want justice for Takeoff, but I want justice for Takeoff regardless of what's going on, because it was senseless violence, man. If we keep on knocking each other off, who gonna be left?
That's true, man. That's so true.
And some people can't see through, like, the distractions. It's a lot of stuff in front of us that's showing us that the main people who played the key role in what went on was right there on camera. Edited footage or not. And people sitting back thinking Jay Prince Jr., he just condoning it. No, he not condoning it, but at the same time, they already knew what they talked about in the car when they was in the slab with Quavo at the end of the day. And have like a few, like, you gotta understand, Migo Lingo, he sat there and said Takeoff should have rolled in the car with them so he could have been able to hear what they was planning. At the end of the day, like,
Right, but we was in the car and you had the gap in between them, and I think it was Takeoff was saying, you had to straighten something.
yeah. And Takeoff kept fidgeting with the window. Takeoff.
Yeah.
Quavo kept fidgeting with the window while Takeoff was standing outside the slab.
Right.
That goes to show it was some fishy stuff going on since Takeoff pulled up. You feel me? Why wasn't they in the same car? I understand this and that, but you're not finna separate yourself from the guys. If you go to a party on somebody else's set, you finna be with the guys the whole time. If you finna go to a party that some little female just sent the invitation out to, you feel me, damn near everybody in the city, you finna go there with the guys, and you finna go there with all the toolies in the book bag. Like, real talk. That's why I sit back and look like, did Jazz Prince give Lil Cam the DE, you feel me, before they walked into the bowling alley or after the dice game? You see what I'm saying? Because somebody handed Lil Cam the move. And I don't want to just put no names out there, but they gave him the move, if I'm not mistakenly, before they went in the bowling alley or after they left the dice game. So I just want to bring that to the forefront and let everybody know, this is not nothing to play with. This is serious. This man just got sent up, man.
Yeah, that's serious shit, yeah. And it's hard to think that Jay Prince, I mean, when we just invite somebody to a party and then have them taken out like that, man, I can't breathe that cold. I just don't want to think it like that.
Unless it was some money involved. And you gotta understand, Jay Prince Jr., he's a businessman. He's trying to follow in the same footsteps as Singer. You feel me? That's why they always say Junior is the one who's gonna continue the legacy regardless of what goes on, because he has the mentality, and regardless if he grew up in the streets or out of the streets, he still has the business mindset to run a business regardless of how loose his team is running. A lot of people don't know that. You gotta literally apply it to your own life. I'm from the streets. I know a lot of people out there, they from the streets. A lot of people can vouch on that. But you gotta understand, one thing is, like, it's a code and it's rules. That's two different things. You see what I'm saying? People get it misconstrued, because you have to go by the code, but you also have to follow the rules. And people not particularly specific on what the code and the rules are when you go into these different states. That's why the checking in, the whole checking in situation is kind of skeptical, like as it is, because I never heard of it until 2021. You feel me? Checking in. Why'd you checking in for you to be on the radar?
Right, I don't understand that either.
Like, that low key push you out there, and it makes it to where the people in the city can tell they other people who not bosses, yeah, so-and-so just came into town, man. He just got off the plane at this time. He's staying at the, you feel me, the so-and-so hotel. Yeah, he say he doing the show at this time. You see how they study mixing the story up?
Yeah, that's very true. And the whole night, it seemed like, I was watching this night, it seemed like Takeoff was just pretty much into his own world. You know, he was just standing.
He wasn't even with the crowd. Why was he so far? Why was Takeoff the last one with the other crowd who wasn't his guys? Why was everybody who is with the Migos was all the way up there arguing? Like, where did y'all get separated at? Why they, like, forget the footage, it's logic. Where did y'all get separated at? When did y'all split up? This ain't Scooby-Doo. When did y'all split up? Straight up. Like, real talk, it's too many people being lost to this, man. And it's people, they look at the video, they say, oh yeah, they was blowing from across the thing. Ain't no way they blowing from across the thing and Lil Cam is right on his neck taking the chain. Come on now.
That's crazy, though.
Who else could hit him up? He probably had on about $40,000 worth of chains, $60,000 worth of chains. It probably wasn't even that because they didn't have on a big wire ran jewelry. So you gotta understand the wire ran jewelry got the baguettes in it, and all the other jewelry that they wear, you know the baguettes cost more than the regular emerald cuts. So people don't know that you wear the emerald cuts and the tennis chains and the tennis bracelets when you go to other cities. You don't, when you in your own city.
In all actual reality, they didn't care about his family when they realized was right there aiming at him. They didn't care about his kids, if he had kids. One thing that we know is it was more than one person who realized basically corner Takeoff off. Once they cornered him off, it was over with. They said Lil Cam locked up right now. They said that they picked him up in 5th Ward. All of it is cap. Lil Cam ain't locked up. That he was on the house arrest ankle monitor. It's all cap, since everybody always saying on what's cap and what's not. Do your research. Everything that you see ain't always what it is.
Yeah, I mean, he's just still at home right now. He's got the ankle bracelet on, which means they're monitoring where he's at. There's no way for him to leave. We know you can't cut that off. That's not a temporary thing. That's on there. And so we know that they're well aware of where he is. He's not going to be able to go very far with that. If he does, he got a couple minutes until they're over with the chopper. You know what I mean?
And this just goes back to what the DA just said. Y'all got to pay attention to one thing. The feds ain't put that out there that they locked him up for no Takeoff. So I just want to let the air be clear right now. J. Prince Jr. is being investigated. That's it and that's all. Him and his whole mob ties organization, because they look at that as if they real live in the streets.
Right. I mean, we know that there's a lot of different scenarios where he seems to stay around this drama and the stuff that's been going on. So, you know, although that they're investigating him for this, there's also other things that are going on. And as we know, like, you know, you go back and forth about certain things, that a lot of times you find that pieces are tied together and they end up, you know,
connected in the end.
Yeah.
And this what brings it to, like, RP Takeoff, RP everybody that was lost behind this, man, because they said that it was 2 people who got sent up behind this Takeoff situation. And I want everybody to know, our condolences out go to the family.
Yeah.
Like, real talk, like, at the end of the day, we know a lot of people thirsty, a lot of people scrambling, trying to make some bread or whatever, but Lil Cam is not arrested, man, at all.
No.
We just talked to the HPD. He's not arrested, you guys.
No, I mean, he's still staying with the bracelet situation.
He was on house arrest.
Yeah.
All he did was violate that.
Right.
And then literally they came and reinstated it and fixed the ban.
Right, and it's easy to tell where you go because they have the trackers in those instantly, and you know.
Yeah, he really can't leave too far because the parole officer comes twice a week.
And I'm sure that they're watching him even further because of who he is, and they're gonna try to make an example out of him. You know, a lot of times when it's like a name of somebody, they try to make an example so that people don't try to follow in their steps. And
they're gonna make an example because they said that he was authorized to be outside that day. He was authorized to be outside that day that happened to Takeoff on Halloween. They said he was only authorized to be out from 7 to 7.
Right.
So the situation happened with Yellow Hoodie, Purple V-Long, Chucky Bushwick dog, and Migo Bands and Mike Prince and them. Y'all know for a fact that man wasn't supposed to be outside.
Right.
This is why the parole officer is the main one who's sitting back like, you know what? We gave you a little leeway, but then you was in the situation where your name is ringing. Your name is ringing throughout all the people there, and you're on house arrest. You just look even guiltier because they got you all over the internet on camera.
Right. Right. I mean, and the thing is just to confirm, it's 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. So once that sun goes down, I mean, even then, like, you need special permission. You have to ask ahead of time. It has to, some stuff even has to go before the judge to approve you to go into that stuff. They don't still let you go anywhere because they don't want to have that stuff happen.
Yeah, because that's still under their docket.
Right.
He still has a case that he's fighting. So I want to let y'all know, man, coming straight from the streets, man. That man, Lil Cam, he tweaked, but at the same time, y'all can really pay attention to what's really going on. And J. Prince Jr., he's sitting back looking like Quavo mad at him. Quavo never dropped the whole album, and Takeoff didn't want to sign the mob ties. So this goes to show, like, it was deeper than what they thought it was.
Right, and then it brings a lot of controversy up with the names and stuff, and the last thing they want is drama, negative drama.
Yeah, you don't want that in your circle because at the end of the day, we know for a fact that it could have easily been avoided.
It can be avoided. All that stuff ends up causing, it's like a ripple effect. Like one thing happens and then it's like before you realize it, you're way deeper than you even realize it.
Yeah. They supposed to have a thought about that before they sunk that man up, man. This is why I say this is a revolving door and people can't seem to not send each other up. You get into it with a person over something petty, and this been going on for the last couple years. You get into it with somebody for something petty, it just blow all out of proportion as if y'all real life got into some deep stuff that couldn't been avoided. No.
Yeah, I mean, people really need, sometimes you just gotta let stuff go, because it ends up turning into a bigger thing, and then before you realize it, he loses any future. Not only him though, like you said, his kids, his family, his whole entire, he's not just who we know him, he has his own family, you know what I mean? He has his own family, people that look at him as they've known him for years, not who he is now.
Yeah, they know Takeoff for Takeoff, but you gotta understand, Takeoff was somebody else before he started rapping, and there's people out there who real life want justice for him, but it's a lot of people who didn't speak up for him, but they was in his corner. That's why I say, you can't be having these people around y'all, man, and y'all real life don't know the intentions. Like, it's sad because Quavo sat there and could have avoided all that, man, and this is coming straight from Houston. And from what the paperwork saying, you guys, these people real life, it was orchestrated, man. They sat there and played, like literally had the dice game, came out of it, and they cornered them off. They boxed them in.
I mean, they had, the thing is they were watching. That's the one thing that you see with all the things that go on. Like, people are watching for a while. They're watching the moves that you make, and they know exactly what happened, And even though at the end of the day, there's all the security, because we know it was a busy place, you can't change, you can't go in the footage and just erase what happened. It happened, you know what I mean? You can see every single thing that happened, but it doesn't change. You can't change what happened. All the facts will be shown. Yeah,
because if anything was altered or any, unidentified witnesses that was brought forth, this stuff gonna be in the paperwork, you guys. And when I say you guys, I mean y'all. Hey, I want y'all to really pay attention to what's going on, man, because it could be anybody, man. This could have been your family, man. Takeoff was somebody who had money but didn't have the proper security to protect him. This is sad, y'all. I want y'all to really look at this, man, and take heed to this.
I mean, and then you wonder, should people not just have that protection, should be wearing protection? You know what I mean? That's the thing with all the stuff that's going on. I don't find it common to hear people be wearing vests or anything like that to protect them. You know, that would be an extra.
A level 2.
Right, something.
Level 3. Even a level 1, just so that you can protect yourself.
Right, just anything, along with having extra eyes for you, but you're also put yourself in situations where there's a lot of people you don't necessarily know. You don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, and this is a result of people not communicating. You have to communicate, because if you don't communicate in certain situations, it will end up to the point where people real life getting sent up or people falling out. You feel me? All because of one mistake that somebody made. It could have been fixed, but who's to say? You can't think for nobody else.
No, and you can't go back and change anything either.
No, at the end of the day, we know this.
him for this, there's also other things that are going on. And as we know, like, you know, you go back and forth about certain things, a lot of times you find that pieces are tied together and they end up, you know,
connected in the end.
Yeah.
And this what brings it to, like, RP Takeoff, RP everybody that was lost behind this, man, because they said that it was 2 people who got sent up behind this Takeoff situation. And I want everybody to know, our condolences out go to the family.
Yeah.
Like, real talk, like, at the end of the day, we know a lot of people thirsty, a lot of people scrambling, trying to make some bread or whatever, but Lil Cam is not arrested, man, at all.
No.
We just talked to the HPD. He's not arrested, you guys.
No, I mean, he's still staying with the bracelet situation.
He was on house arrest.
Yeah.
All he did was violate that.
Right.
And then literally they came and reinstated it and fixed the ban.
Right, and it's easy to tell where you go because they have the trackers in those instantly, you know.
Yeah. He really can't leave too far because the parole officer comes twice a week.
And I'm sure that they're watching him even further because of who he is, and they're gonna try to make an example out of him. You know, a lot of times when it's like a name of somebody, they try to make an example so that people don't try to follow in their steps. And
they're gonna make an example because they said that he was authorized to be outside that day. He was authorized to be outside that day that happened to Takeoff on Halloween. They said he was only authorized to be out from 7 to 7.
Right.
So the situation happened with Yellow Hoodie, Purple V-Long, Chucky Bushwick Dog, and Migo Bands and Mike Prince and them. Y'all know for a fact that man wasn't supposed to be outside.
Right.
This is why the parole officer is the main one who's sitting back like, you know what? We gave you a little leeway, but then you was in the situation where your name is ringing. Your name is ringing throughout all the people there, and you're on house arrest. You just look even guiltier because they got you all over the internet on camera.
Right. I mean, and the thing is just to confirm, it's 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. So once that sun goes down, I mean, even then, like, you need special permission. You have to ask ahead of time. It has to some stuff even has to go before the judge to approve you to going to that stuff.
Yeah.
They don't still let you go anywhere because they don't want to have that stuff happen.
Yeah, because that's still under their docket.
Right.
He still has a case that he's fighting. So I want to let y'all know, man, coming straight from the streets, man, that man Lil Cam, he tweaked, but at the same time, y'all can really pay attention to what's really going on. And J Prince Jr., he's sitting back looking like Quavo mad at him. Quavo never dropped the whole album, and Takeoff didn't want to sign the mob ties. So this goes to show, like, it was deeper than what they thought it was.
Right, and then it brings a lot of controversy up with the names and stuff, and the last thing they want is drama, negative drama.
Yeah,
you know?
You don't want that in your circle because at the end of the day, we know for a fact that it could have easily been avoided.
It can be avoided.